guys, it's me Megan, your favorite podcaster. Today I'm going to read you a story called The Little Aces, a golf story by Rose Ostrow. So the characters in this story is Julian and Ellie, and they're in the golf course. Julian and Ellie were playing golf in the golf course. Julian's ball went missing, so they went everywhere asking animals to, because their body parts have a little bit of connection to the ball, so it looks like it was a ball. So they met a lot of animals, but then all of them said that wasn't their ball. But then in the end, because Ellie chipped his ball into the hole, they found Julian's ball in the hole, which means that Julian's ball was a hole-in-one. So let's have a look at the story. The Little Aces, a golf story written by Rose Ostrow. Julian and Ellie were brothers who loved to play golf together. Whether warm or chilly, they played no matter the weather. On weekends, they joined their dad on the golf course, where they practiced hitting drives with great force. I think there's a bit of rhyme in this. Let's go on. To get the ball into the hole, 18 times is the goal of the game, and to do it with the fewest strokes requires great aim. Once the boys finished hitting drives, they headed to the green to practice their putting before playing 18. During one of their games, Ellie hit the ball far and away. Both boys watched it go right down the fairway. Interesting. Julian hit next and watched his ball fly straight. Ellie said, "Wow, Julian, that shot was great." The boys put their clubs away and jumped into the golf cart. Seemed like they were both off to a pretty good start. Driving up the fairway, they found Ellie's ball, but they didn't see Julian's and exclaimed, "Where did it fall?" It looked like it went straight, so it should be right there. "We'll find it, Julian," said Ellie. "Please have no fear." The boys searched and searched, but nothing was found. "The ball is gone. Game over," they frowned. Suddenly a chipmunk ran by with something round in his cheek. "Catch him quickly," Julian said. "He's on his way to the creek." "Chipmunk, Chipmunk," Ellie cried. "Won't you give us our ball back? We need it to get our game on track." "This isn't your ball, boys. It's a bunch of acorns I'm eating. Now let me go on my way. I'm late to a meeting." Next, the boys saw a rabbit hop by in a hurry. He was grey and white and extremely furry. "Rabbit, Rabbit," they cried. "Won't you give us our ball back? We need it to get our game on track." "Why, this isn't your ball. It's my white bushy tail. But keep searching for it. I'm sure you won't fail." "There's our ball," shouted Julian. "In the nest atop that tree. We found it," the boy shouted with glee. "Birdie, Birdie," they cried. "Won't you give us our ball back? We need it to get our game on track." "Why, this isn't your ball. It's my egg that's about to hatch. I hope you find it, though, so you can get on with your match." Next, the boys saw a snake with a lump in his midsection. They kept a fair distance for their own protection. "Snake, Snake, won't you give us our ball back? We need it to get our game on track." "This isn't your ball. It's a mouse I just ate. And if you won't watch out, you share the same fate." "Look over there. I think I see my ball behind that tree." The boys ran over quickly to see. What they found was indeed hard and round and laying near the green on the ground. "I'm not your ball, boys. That's my shell you just saw. I'm Mr. Thomas Turtle," he said while extending his claw. "Could it be my ball? is still up in the air?" Julian asked, pointing to the sky with great despair. Ellie looked up and saw a great big bold eagle flying high over the course and looking very regal. "Eagle, eagle, won't you give us our ball back? We need it to get our game on track." The eagle flew down quickly. "This isn't your ball, you see. This is my bowed white head, boys. Now, please let me be." Julian turned to Ellie and said, "Please just continue to play. My ball will turn up. Please don't let it ruin your day. I can lose a stroke and play with a new golf ball. I think those are the rules, if I recall." Ellie agreed and chipped his ball onto the green. He grabbed his putter to finish the first hole of 18. The ball went in and then they heard a loud tonk. When they looked in the hole, they got a real shock. That sound was Ellie's ball hitting Julian's in the hole. Julian quickly removed both balls along with the flagpole. "That's my ball. I must have gotten a hole in one. And here we thought my ball was gone." Julian and Ellie's dad was concerned with the boys gone so long. He drove around the course expecting them to be further along. He kept backtracking until he found them on the first hole's green and said, "Boys, I've been worried. Where have you been?" The boys shouted at the same time, "Julian got an ace!" A shocked look appeared on their dad's face. They began to explain how the ball went missing and how they met a bunny, a turtle, a snake that was hissing. The dad said, "No way, what an amazing feat. Getting a hole in one really can't be beat." Dad lifted both boys up and spun them around and said, "I love your story of the lost ball that was found." Ellie and Julian jumped up from his arms and gave each other a high five. Then they ran off to the next hole, hoping for another amazing drive. The end. So, this is a picture book mainly for junior golf players. And I got it when I first started golf when I was 3. I like it because it was very educational. Because I played golf myself, I know a few things. So here are the clubs. There are putter for the green. When you're on the green, you use this putter to putt it into the hole. And remember to use the correct force or else you'll miss the hole. There's also woods that you use between, like the end and the start, which is the teeing area and the green. You use between them. And you also use irons, and you use irons and woods to kind of move along to the green. There's also the driver, which you use at the start at the teeing area, which I will tell you about later. There's also tees that you need with the drivers because it kind of supports the golf ball and makes it a little bit higher. And I also liked how they introduced, well, not introduced, but they did illustrate some suitable clothes for golf. Because you can see, like Julian or Ellie or their dad, usually they put on blue and white stuff. I've got a few ones in my cupboard in my bedroom. You also kind of need a little cap to like stop your face from getting sunburn, and you also, of course, need sunscreen because sunscreen is really important if you go into the sun because you won't want to get sunburn or else you get skin cancer. It also tells you, well, it also illustrates for you what the golf course looks like. There's a green for the putting that I just said just now. There's fairway, which is a kind of grassy ground thingy. I think it's, yeah, something like that, like kind of grass. Well, we call it fairway. We've also got the golf carts that you need to ride around the golf course. And And the bunkers, that it's just basically a hole with sand in it. So if your ball goes in there, you have to try and hit it out again with the sandwich, I think. But it's kind of iron, so it doesn't matter. So there are also holes and the teeing area. The teeing area is where you start with the driver, where I just said like the tee and the stuff. That's why it's called the teeing area. And the holes, I haven't mentioned the holes yet. So there are 9 or 18 holes at the least. So this is how you play golf. So the person who hits the ball into the hole with the fewest strokes wins. And you start at the teeing area with your driver. And don't forget, or else you lose, to hit your ball really, really hard at the first go, which is your driver. Because if you hit it really slow, like say the swing, if you hit it really slow, it won't go too far. Then you will need to try and use your irons and your woods to try and get it to the green. So that would take forever. So do try and hit it really hard. Anyway, this isn't a class. This is a book review podcast. Anyway, I'm just talking about golf for the moment. Anyway, I also liked its illustrations because I like how they drew the animals, but I think the snake looked pretty stupid. And I also liked how they drew the people, like in the golf poses and stuff. They also personalized the animals, which I always liked. I like how they personalize stuff. That some are nice and some are threatening, like the snake. But the turtle was really nice, and the bunny, and stuff like that. Something I learned from the story is that if you're disappointed by something because you probably couldn't find your favorite toy or favorite fidget or your favorite piece of Lego even, you still shouldn't give up in the end, because you might find out that something else which is good that you might want to happen. So Julian and Ellie were disappointed because they couldn't find Julian's ball. But then in the end, they found it. It was in the hole. It was a hole in one. So you find things that you like and you miss by accident. If it happens to me, usually it's just like my favorite piece of Lego. Favorite piece, but I really like playing Lego as well. So say I had this really identical piece. It was really special. It was my favorite. But then it got missing. So I was searching for it. But then I still shouldn't give up, because if something good happens, in the end, you never know. So I would give a 10 out of 10 for the rating for this book. 6 stars, because it was like really educational, even though this is not a teaching podcast. 3 stars, because I like their illustrations. They were pretty good. I like the animals. I like how they talk. And I also liked how they personalized. And 1 star, because it was an extremely interesting storyline. And it was an amazing day at the golf course with you. So I hope you guys keep reading. Stay tuned with my podcasters. Make sure to check out all of my podcasters. And see you next time at the golf course. Bye.